Excuse me?
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we've been holding consultations with the President Benjamin Mkapa over the talks that have been ongoing, which, as you all know, was suspended yesterday. I'm going to be addressing you on our position as ODM on these talks after they have left, but His Excellency, the Excellencies are going to talk to you right now briefly, and then we are going to release them to go, after which I'm going to address you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Raila-Odinga. President Mkapa and myself are very pleased with the discussions we just had with you. We sought this meeting as part of the negotiation process. I think yesterday I indicated that I was going to take up the issues with the leadership. Last night, President Mkapa and I met with President of Tanzania. This morning we have met with President Kibaki, and now we have seen Honorable Raila-Odinga to discuss the talks and how we move forward. I think this has been a very constructive discussions. We have made certain suggestions which we are going to discuss further with him and the other leaders and find a way forward. I think the issues that divide the parties are bridgeable, but it does require political will, leadership, and wisdom to move forward. We all know, and nobody has to tell us, the state of affairs in the country. We all know how people have been traumatized. We know the fear they live with day in and day out. We know their desire for this nation to be pacified, stabilized, so that they can move on with their lives and regain their livelihoods. It is in the name of these Kenyans, the Kenyans who have suffered, the Kenyans who have been displaced, the Kenyans who are losing their jobs, that we should think of and move ahead. So I'm appealing once again to all concerned and those in position of influence to really think of the people and seek a speedy solution. It is for them that we toil. It is for them that we seek a rapid solution. Thank you very much. The other last thing that I wanted to say during this discussion, I also appealed to Honorable Raila Odinga and the ODM leadership not to undertake the mass action that have been announced tomorrow. I think we are at a very critical stage in the negotiations, and we need to focus on that. The solution must be found in the mediating room and the leaders engaging each other. But we have to move quickly, and we have to reassure people as fast as we can. And I hope they will heed my appeal and cancel the mass action for tomorrow.
Can you kindly brief us on how talks went?
No, I think, wait a second.
Just wait a minute.
Mr. President.
Kwa wale wanaosema Kiswahili nitajaribu kutafsiri kwa kifupi tu aliyoyasema. Kama nilivyosema jana, mazungumzo yale tuliahirisha kwa sababu tulitaka wasaa wa kuzungumza moja kwa moja na viongozi kusudi watoe maelekezo makubwa juu ya hatua zinazofuata katika mazungumzo yetu kati ya timu hizi mbili na sisi tukiwa wenye viti au washiriki. Baada ya kuambieni vile jana, tulipata fursa ya kukutana na mwenyekiti wa African Union ambaye ni rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. Tulimwelezea hatua tuliyoifikia na tukataka naye bila shaka atataka kukutana na viongozi hawa, naye vile vile atoe mchango wake katika kuandaa hiyo hatua inayofuata ya mazungumzo yetu. Leo asubuhi tumekutana na Mheshimiwa Rais Kibaki, naye tumefanya naye hayo tuliyofanya na Rais Kikwete na kuhimiza kwamba aweze kuchangia katika kuandaa hatua hiyo inayofuata ya mazungumzo yetu. Na sasa tumetoka kuzungumza na Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga kuyasema hayo. Tunafikiri pamoja na kwamba tuliahirisha mazungumzo jana, kwamba yale mambo ambayo yanaonekana kama yanatenganisha au yanaleta gap kubwa sana kati ya pande hizi mbili bado yanaweza kupata suluhu na mwafaka unaweza ukapatikana, sio tu juu ya hatua inayofuata, lakini suluhu ya kudumu ya mgogoro huu uliotokana na uchaguzi ambao umepigiwa mashaka. Tunasisitiza sisi kwamba inawezekana kupata maelewano hayo kwa sababu hakuna anayependa kuona zahama hizi wanazopata wananchi wetu, taabu hii wanayopata wananchi wetu. Kule kwetu sisi tunaita walalahoi au watu wa kawaida, lakini kwa kawaida wao ndio wanapata dhiki kubwa sana kutokana na hali hii ya kutisha na ya kukatisha tamaa. Kwa hivi tunafikiri hiyo inaweza kutusukuma kuharakisha mwafaka huo tunaotafuta. Tumechukua nafasi hii vile vile kumwomba Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga na uongozi wa ODM wasitishe ile rai yao ya kesho ya maandamano makubwa ya umma. Mimi nikisema kwamba kwa kweli asingaliweza kubadilisha sana ari yetu sisi ya kuzungumza au azma yetu ya kuharakisha kupata mwafaka, lakini vile vile yatatuliza nchi. Tunaomba kweli nchi itulie, iwe na subira, lakini wakati huo huo tunataka kuwahakikishia kwamba bado tuna imani kwamba viongozi wetu hawa wana hekima na busara ya kutosha kuweza kuharakisha kupatikana kwa mwafaka huu tuliowania karibu mwezi mzima sasa. Hayo ndio tunayosema, na tunasema hivyo kwa imani kubwa kabisa na kwa azma nzito kabisa. Asanteni sana.
Now I just want to add here because I have a meeting with President Kikwete in the next few minutes, so I'm not going to be able to address you when they leave here. I want to say here that we have had some very useful discussions with the two eminent persons. They have briefed us and me on a one-on-one basis of the progress that has been made in the talks, the difficulties that have been encountered, and the discussions that we've had also with Mr. Raila-Kibaki. I have basically said that we, as the ODM, are committed to ensuring that these talks do succeed, and that we'll do everything in our power to facilitate progress. We do not want to put any kind of roadblocks in the way of these talks. We would like to see a power-sharing arrangement in the country that will enable us to carry out the necessary reforms that are required so that this country does not experience what they've experienced again in the past 2 months. We therefore saying that any transitional arrangement that we enter into is going to be conditional on reforms. In other words, we do not want to go to the government for the sake of it, but as a means to an end, not as an end in itself. This is our stand as the ODM. We have taken note of the request from Dr. KOFI Annan about tomorrow's mass action that had been called by our party. We had hitherto also consulted among ourselves, and therefore I'm happy. I would like to announce here and now, on behalf of our movement, that we will postpone. We have therefore postponed until further notice any kind of actions that were intended for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, thank you for the time. Thank you very much.
Okay, asanteni. Tutaonana tena.
You got the aging, you see, aging. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave you. Okay.
Sasa. How's it? You'll get the best shots. Just that there. Msisonge mbele tena. That side is better. One guy that has to move.
Ukiambiwa wasikie. Ukiambiwa wasikia.
We great club one and beautiful. Thank you. Okay, well then you move.
Just that.
Okay, then move. Okay. Just move out of the way, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. It's Mama. Yes. Okay,
Kenya has successfully been completed today. I would want first to thank President Raila-Kibaki and Honorable Raila-Odinga for the leadership and the determination they have shown throughout this crisis and their determination to get to a solution. I would also want to thank the Chairman of the African Union and President of Tanzania, President Keketwe, for joining us over the last 2 days, and of course, my eminent candidate, former President Benjamin Mkapa of Tanzania. I am pleased to be able to tell you
and all the citizens of Kenya that the two parties this afternoon completed the work on Agenda Item 3, how to overcome the political crisis. In the signed document, which will be released shortly, you will see that the government and Party of National Unity and the Orange Democratic Movement agreed to a formula that includes the following key items. There will be the post of Prime Minister of the Government of Kenya with authority to coordinate and supervise the execution of the functions and affairs of the Government of Kenya. The Prime Minister will be an elected member of Parliament and the parliamentary leader of the largest party in the National Assembly, or of a coalition if the largest party does not command a majority. Each member of the coalition shall nominate one person from the National Assembly to be appointed a Deputy Prime Minister. The cabinet will consist of a President, Vice President, Prime Minister, 2 Deputy Prime Ministers, and other ministers. The removal of a minister of the coalition will be subject to consultation and concurrence in writing by the leaders. The Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Ministers can only be removed if the National Assembly passes a motion of no confidence with a majority vote. The composition of the coalition government will at all times take into account the principle of portfolio balance and reflect their relative parliamentary strengths. The coalition will be dissolved if the 10th Parliament is dissolved, or if the parties agree in writing, or if one coalition partner withdraws from the coalition. The National Accord and Reconciliation Act shall be entrenched in the Constitution. We've asked the Attorney General, working with 1 or 2 people from both teams, to work on the Act and the constitutional amendment as quickly as possible. Having agreed on the critical issues above, the parties have decided that they will take the process to Parliament as quickly as possible, and the Parliament will convene at the earliest moment to enact these agreements. It will be in the form of an Act of Parliament and the necessary amendment to the Constitution. We believe by these steps we can, together in the spirit of partnership, bring peace and prosperity back to the people of Kenya, who so richly deserve it. Let me also say that I commend all those whose efforts have made this possible, whose efforts have brought us here this afternoon. They kept the future of Kenya foremost in their sights and reached a common position for the good of the nation. Let the spirit of healing begin today. Let it begin now. In all successful negotiations, there is give and take. Invariably, some supporters on each side feel that their negotiators gave too much. To those people in Kenya, I would say this: compromise was necessary for the survival of this country. Support this agreement, for it is the key to the unity of Kenya. It is a foundation for national reconciliation, and it is a springboard to economic recovery. This is important not just for Kenya, but beyond. It will help restore Kenya to its rightful place as a leader in the region and on this continent. We will now begin our work on Agenda Item 4, long-term issues and solutions, including constitutional reform, addressing the poverty and inequity, and land reform. These issues, of course, underlie the tragic events that followed the December 27 elections and must be addressed once and for all. And I will be convening the mediation team tomorrow at 10 to begin their work on item 4. I am confident that if we work hard, we will very soon be able to see a successful conclusion to the talks on the long-term issues, and I am committed to work with you and the panel's team to ensure that this happens. Today we have reached an important staging post, but the journey is far from over. In fact, it is only beginning. The real challenge now is for President Kibaki and Honorable Raila-Kibaki to work together to heal and reconcile this nation, working jointly to implement the reform agenda on which they have agreed, and sustaining the effort until the job is done. But the job of national reconciliation and national reconstruction is not for the leaders alone. It must be carried out in every neighborhood, village, hamlet of the nation. I call on all Kenyans to support this process so that Kenya can once again be a moral inspiration and an economic engine for Africa. And let me assure you that your friends in Africa and in the international community are all behind you. They are waiting for us to settle this situation, to make peace, and they will help us reconstruct. They will help us with the settlement and return of the internally displaced. They will help us with the heavy agenda that we have, whether it's for reform, economic development, creating jobs for the poor, ensuring that there is equitable access to opportunity. The world is with you. You are not alone. And please don't believe the world is here to interfere. They are here as friends. They love Kenya. They love Kenyans. And they want to work with you in this to get Kenya to where it ought to be. Thank you very much.
Excellency President Kibaki, Honorable Raila Odinga, eminent personalities, Excellency KOFI Annan, Excellency Benjamin Mkapa, the Vice President, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. At long last, we have an agreement that assures the people of Kenya that the historical accident, which unfortunately occurred recently, can now be a thing of the past. I heartily congratulate His Excellency President Kibaki and Honorable Raila Odinga for this great achievement. I congratulate them for their leadership, statesmanship, patriotism, and their great love for their dear country and their dear people. I also wish to congratulate the panel of eminent persons, His Excellency KOFI Annan, His Excellency Benjamin William Mkapa, and our gracious Graça Michelle, for their tireless efforts which have been rewarded by this historic agreement. We thank them for having spared part of their retirement time to broker the peace deal for Kenya. Very well done. I know it has not been easy. They persevered so much in the process, but their sweat and toil has been handsomely rewarded. Nawashukuru sana kwa moyo wao. The agreement signed today is the beginning of a process. If implemented fully, it will help the people of Kenya to live their normal life as in the past. However, the signatures alone mean nothing if there is no commitment to seeing what has been agreed upon is actually implemented. By appending their signatures to the agreement today, President Kibaki and Raila Odinga have demonstrated the political will to see the political empires ended and Kenya coming back to the normal life. The task ahead of all of us, Kenyans as well as friends of Kenya, is to ensure that this agreement is implemented to the letter and spirit. I emphasize this point because this task is not a matter for His Excellency Raila-Kibaki and Raila Odinga alone, or that it is a matter of their respective political parties alone. This task is for all Kenyans across the various political and social divides. It is my sincere hope that people of Kenya will render their unqualified support and rally behind this historic agreement to ensure its full implementation. First and foremost, it requires the political will of the political class of Kenya. Let me repeat. First and foremost, it requires the political will of the political class of Kenya, because it is they, more than any other Kenyan, who can make or break this agreement. I implore them to use their political will to see the agreement implemented. It is my hope also that the international community will support the people of Kenya as they implement this agreement. Let's all speak with one voice. Let's all speak one language so that we don't confuse the people of Kenya. This agreement, like all agreements of this nature, is the result of a give and take spirit and exercise. Each has taken a little, each has given a little. I know some of you may have wished to get more, but what you got is the best under the circumstances. Keep it for the sake of the broad masses of Kenya who have endured so much in these last 2 months. They deserve a break. They deserve to be treated better. On behalf of the African Union, I want to assure all of you that the AU will always be on the side of the people of Kenya as you find your way back to normalcy. More importantly, the African Union will be there to support you as you implement the various articles of this agreement. The AU also will continue to be there as you embark on negotiating the remaining mediation agenda. On behalf of the people of Tanzania, your good neighbors, I salute the people of Kenya on this historic occasion. We join you in the celebrations. We share with you the joy that this agreement brings with it. Tanzanians wish you well and wish all of you, all their Kenyan brothers and sisters, the best in their efforts to retrace the good old days and act together for the sake of their great nation.
Your Excellency, President Jakaya Kikwete, Your Excellency Dr. KOFI Annan, Your Excellency retired President Benjamin Mkapa, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Cabinet Ministers, Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. It is about 5 weeks ago when we stood here jointly to start the process of mediation in our country. For the last 2 months, Kenya has received more publicity in the international media than at any time in our 45 years of independence. The story coming out of Kenya has been a story of the sadness. The founding fathers of our nation coined the Kenyan dream. And the Kenyan dream is to be found in our national anthem, which states that Lord of all creation, bless this land of ours. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. For the last 2 months, Kenyans have known nothing but sadness. I would like to take opportunity to thank the millions of our people who turned up on the 27th of December last year to cast their votes. I want to thank those who voted for me and those who voted for my other competitors in the elections. They exercised their democratic right. Little did they know then that after casting their votes, nothing but turmoil and sadness will follow. But this is sometimes an experience that countries go through. As Dr. KOFI Annan said, a crisis also offers an opportunity. And I think that this crisis has taught Kenyans a serious lesson that will help. I would like to take the opportunity also to thank those who have stood by Kenya at this hour of need. And they say that a friend in need is a friend indeed. First, the African Union, which made it possible for the panel of eminent persons to come to Kenya. Two, I would like to thank the European Union, the United States of America, the United Nations, for all taking a keen interest in helping Kenya to find a solution to our crisis. I'd like to thank Dr. KOFI Annan, retired President Benjamin Mkapa, Madam Gracia Machel, who unfortunately is not here with us today, and last but not least, my competitor then, but my countryman, President Raila-Kibaki. I think that without the intervention and contribution, it would not have been possible for us to reach here. I would also like to thank the team of negotiators or mediators which were appointed by both sides, the PNU and the ODM. I think that they have done a commendable work. With the signing of this agreement, we have opened a new chapter in our country's history. From the era of phase of confrontation to the beginning of cooperation. We on our side are completely committed to ensuring that this agreement will succeed. The ball has moved partially from the hands of the negotiators and ourselves to the Court of Parliament. It is going to be now the responsibility of a national parliament to ensure that the various legislation that are called for in this agreement are enacted as quickly as possible so that we can begin the task once again of nation building. That we can begin the task of reconstruction. We can build the structure of healing our nation which has been torn along ethnic lines. Many Kenyans have lost their lives, as I've said. Many are destitute. Those who have been orphaned, those who have been widowed, those who are jobless. There are so many who are displaced, who have no homes, who are sleeping out there in the cold. We should waste not a single minute in ensuring that these people are given opportunity again to go on, get on with their lives. We should ensure that no Kenyan loses his or her life again senselessly. But more importantly, we should begin to ensure that Kenyans begin to celebrate and to laugh with each other. That we destroy the monster that is called ethnicity from our nation. I am myself committed to ensuring that what we have started today will succeed. That we will develop a strong foundation for a United Nations, Kenya. Kenya is known universally as a land of great runners. But Kenya is also going to show that it has got many more attributes than athletics alone. I am happy to thank once again those who have helped us to reach where we have reached, and I conclude by saying that we have begun a journey, and this journey we are going to walk.
Fellow Kenyans, just over a month ago, we initiated the Kenya National Dialogue reconciliation process aimed at restoring normalcy in the country after a divisive election. We recognize that our country was faced with a complex political challenge, and that is why we initiated the dialogue in order to restore peace and resolve the political challenge. At the very outset, I thank the Kenyan people for exhibiting a great deal of patience as we embarked on this journey of dialogue. I am happy that today we have signed an agreement that marks the success of the talks that were ably chaired by His Excellency KOFI Annan. I wish to most sincerely thank Mr. Annan, Their Excellencies Benjamin Mkapa and Gracia Machel for the efforts dispensed in this process. I also wish to thank the current chair of the African Union, President Jakaya Kikwete, as well as his predecessor, President John Kufuor of Ghana, and the international community as a whole for all their effort. As a neighbor and a friend, I particularly pay tribute to President Kikwete for finding time to come and support us in finding a good solution. Asante sana. Above all, I thank the two teams that participated in the mediation talks. We commend them for their input in the process. This process has reminded us that as a nation, there are more issues that unite than divide us. We have been reminded that we must do all in our power to safeguard our peace. That is the foundation of our national unity, social cohesion, economic growth, and political stability. Kenya has room for all of us if we can enhance peace and tolerance. And fellow Kenyans, today we stand before you and give our solemn commitment to be at the forefront in the efforts to safeguard that peace. At the same time, we should dedicate ourselves to engage in productive activities that contribute to the prosperity and well-being of our nation. We should also be a caring nation that reaches out to its neighbors and those who are disadvantaged in our society. There will be challenges along the way, but I am confident that through dialogue and a sense of unity and common purpose for the good of all Kenyans, we shall succeed. My government will fully support implementation of the agreement reached under the National Dialogue and Reconciliation process until we achieve the results we all want. The agreement we have reached form a comprehensive partnership between the government and government coalition and the ODM. The new partnership will strengthen the government in addressing the challenges facing our country more comprehensively. It is important that in particular we deal with the problem of negative ethnicity, national cohesion and unity. To enable us to reach this goal, this agreement into law, and to provide an opportunity for members to play their effective role in national reconciliation and development, state opening of Parliament will take place this coming Thursday, March 6th, the year 2008. As we begin to implement the issues that we have agreed on today, I want to appeal to Kenyans to fully embrace and support the process of comprehensive review of the Constitution. We are determined that this process will yield results which will be acceptable to all Kenyans. With the lessons learned from that, we will complete the process of reviewing our Constitution. I call on Kenyans to embrace the spirit of togetherness. Let us all, as Kenyans, join hands and embark on this important journey that will see us work together as brothers and sisters to transform this country into an even greater place that we call home. Thank you and may God bless you. Basi mimi sina mengi ya kuongeza, isipokuwa niseme vile sasa wananchi mmekubaliana tufanye kazi kama wananchi pamoja, basi tuelekee huko na tuache fitina. Fitina yote tuache, na tuache fitina ya wewe kuchochea ndugu yako anaishi karibu na wewe hapa katika mji, anaishi pamoja na wewe. Hakuna haja wewe kudharau yeye na yeye hana haja ya kukudharau. Hakuna, wala haitakusaidia. Hiyo tu tukumbuke, Mungu ametusaidia, lakini tumepoteza mengi. Hayo ambayo yamepotea, lakini waanza leo tujenge Kenya mpya na tuendelee pale pale tulipokuwa, ndipo Kenya hii iendelee kuwa na sifa, na tusiwe na wasiwasi wowote. Yeyote ambaye nyumba yake ilichomwa, tutamsaidia kama serikali mpaka ajenge upya, ndipo akae huko katika hapo alipokuwa amekaa. Hakuna haja ya kwenda kwingine. Wewe kaa pale na tutakusaidia vile vile upate mbegu za kulima. Ukulima unaanza na tunataka kila mtu aingie ukulima huo, kwa sababu hiyo ndio itakayotuinua katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na ni kupenda jirani yako. Hakuna sababu yoyote wewe kudharau, na imeshapita na hatutarudi. Wote ambao walikuwa wanatembelea Kenya, tafadhali mje Kenya na tunapenda sana.
You called me in a video.
Your Excellency, how are you? Now your title is right.
Yes,
Your Excellency,
Congratulations.
And and we have a Muti Mkono who did a very good job. That's what I want to say. So I want to say that Honorable Raila, you did us proud, because as we negotiated in there, you did the negotiations outside here. You kept the international community interested in the affairs of this country. You kept our partners and friends engaged and made sure that they put necessary pressure to as prepared as ever. In fact, most of the documents that were used in the negotiations came from us, because every morning we had well-researched positions with proper arguments. They made our work very easy because we were very prepared. In fact, they say in politics, an organized minority is a political majority. So we were fighting with the government, because we were organized, we did better than them. They were supposed to have better machinery, better civil service behind them, government lajees, government civil servants, but because they were not as organized as we were operating with these guys, but because they were organized, they organized us, and we did a very good job. And we want to say thank you very much to them. To the ODM fraternity who kept us in prayer, and messages of goodwill, and sometimes very harsh SMSs. They kept us alert. They kept saying, you guys, we are going to do something. We are not going to accept these things you're telling us. And nothing short of the Executive Prime Minister, and really very sometimes encouraging messages. But all in all, we put up a very formidable team. We are not yet there, but we are trusting in God that we will get there. So far we can say so good. We want to encourage our brother, His Excellency, that God is on our side. Yes. I are sure that God is on our side, because this is our victory. It is delayed. It is coming in installments, but we are sure. We are sure we will have it. Yeah, finally. So we still have sessions. I'm sure the next few sessions will now be easier, because we agreed on the first two items. We have split the items on the agenda into 4 categories. And it took us only one day to agree on the issues there. And how to organize it, and how to participate, and how there was going to be a creation of a fund, which was going to be an international fund, so agreed in a day. For the last, we've just been on one subject. this particular subject. We've gone up and we had a breakthrough because, thank you, Captain, you didn't let us down. When it became time to, so we want to say thanks to everybody. I do not want
Mrs. Raila Odinga. She has worked hard in keeping this man. That's right. Sometimes they say your mood will be determined by how you circumstances. He has always left home with renewed energy. So to stand up and address us.
Thank you very much, Deputy Captain. I really don't know whether to be happy or not be happy. But before I ask us to be happy, I also want to recognize the presence of two of us here who also deserve to be congratulated. One, we have got Mr. Majiwa, who is the newly elected mayor. Next to him is Mr. Sam Okelo, of Kisumu. There's Mayor Kisumu this evening. But I want to thank our team here. I mentioned it there, but I need to mention it here now when you are present. First, the team that was negotiating, they were very dedicated, they were very focused, and they really worked as a team. So they went there in the mornings, we were meeting here, we were doing a review together with our technical team, and then they would go to start the meeting at 10 o'clock. When they finish the meeting, around lunchtime, we meet again over lunch to consult. Then in the evening, when they finish, they come back here, PENTAGON, to come and debrief. And then we will give the technical team instructions. We want to work overnight. In the morning, the technical team will come back here and give us fresh ideas to re-energize them to go back. So it has worked almost flawless. And as you know, ideas are much more powerful than physique. So the other time, the other team was complaining that the panel is biased in favor of ODM. That other time they're discussing only ODM documents. And Annan told me, I told him that, look, you have no document. But I also wanted to know that Annan and Mkapa on Sunday confided in me and said that your team is very organized. They come with very well. And in that regard, I want really to commend our technical team. Our technical team, I think, is the best that you can constitute right now in this country. They have worked so hard over this particular period. But even before that, even the campaign time, the team, they were very committed in the work they are doing, generating ideas and so on. Right now, most of the people in PNU come to ask me, how did you do it? Not only that, yesterday I had a lady come to interview me here from Italy. She told me, how are you able to organize this kind of efficient campaign machinery? You don't know this to happen in the developing world. Because your campaign was first world standard. Saying that the kind of document that they're producing, the adverts, the billboards, and all this is said to have quality and first class. This is basically because of our technical team. They did a very good job. Now, I want to say that we are here. We arrived here because of unity, because of commitment and dedication. But this is not our destination. This is just a station, and we are on the way towards our destination. What unity has shown is that if you are united, you will succeed. You see, other people would have been demoralized after Kibaki announced was being sworn in as the president. Many people would have run to go and do a deal with Kibaki.
Some did.
But no, well, our people remained, and you see that way we were able to confront them in Parliament. And that victory in Parliament, the election of the Speaker, is what you can say gave impetus to what we have achieved now. If we remain on course, we will be able to achieve anything. When as Ruto has said, that they reached almost a dead end, they forced those people to crack. And then they began to hurl out obscenities. And this said, the nun being an adult diplomat, said, suspending the talk and taking this talk. So yesterday he did a shuttle diplomacy. He went and saw Kibaki, then came to see me. After we had the general discussions, then I remained with him and Kikwete and Mkapa in the room, one-on-one. And I told him what I was going to do today. Then Kikwete went again and we met from here, went and met with Kikwete. We briefed him. But before that, we had sent a team to go and brief him in Dar es Salaam. Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o and Junior.